Sorry? I'll be quiet.
Okay, what is that?
Bob, I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to let Bob stay.
Come on then, Bob.
No, let me just ask him a couple of questions.
While he's setting up, yeah.
So,
Street Mikey.
if I can ask you a couple of questions, you know what I'm going to ask you the questions on. It's going to be on Tommy. As you know, Tommy went to court this week, or last week, and he is going to get a jury trial, and he has to go to Southwark Crown Court on the 3rd of July.
Yeah.
What is your views on the fact that Tommy finally is going to have a jury trial?
Well, I think it begs the question why he's never been tried by jury before. I think that it demonstrates the fact that it's only the first time that he's having a jury trial in all the years that he's been persecuted by the state, shows that our state has been captured by a progressive militancy that is not afraid or even embarrassed to use the state for its own political ends. It'll be interesting to see what happens at that jury trial. I honestly believe that Tommy is such a politically divisive figure, not through his own fault, but through the media's fault, that people will walk into that courtroom having already decided whether they're going to find him guilty or innocent. But I wish him well. I think I believe him to be innocent, and I think he has done a great job in exposing the corruption in our judiciary.
And the final question, did you see any of the reports about Tommy? We're currently on Tommy's YouTube channel for the first time today, and we're also on his Twitter, like we have been since February. But if you saw the reports, normally the media describes Tommy as far right and all that kind of stuff. Did you notice on Thursday the narrative changed? And he was suddenly a political activist.
Yeah, and I think that's because a lot of the progressive elites recognise that the ground is shifting underneath them, and that a lot of us are quite sick of the progressive elites, and we actually think that the country would be better off if we had other elites. And a lot of the progressive elites now are seeing which way the crowd is running, and they're trying to get ahead of the crowd. And what I would encourage everybody to do is just make a note of all the people that have been in power over the last few decades, and when we finally do snatch power from them, that we remove them all from their offices, we remove them from their ivory towers and their high towers, and that we replace them with more sensible people.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob.
No worries. Bye. Are you ready? Yeah. So me and Boba are going to be debating the age of Aisha and Muhammad's marriage to Aisha.
Brave, very brave, Baba.
All right.
Very brave.
So Boba, are you ready?
Yeah, what's his name?
No, I'm not even sure this is what.
We got family.
We're gonna be connected to the mic soon, so please bear with us. We just got here, so make sure you like the link, live stream, obviously share it, don't be lazy. Okay, so you
You're
bear
the
with me.
defence?
Can I put this on you, Bob?
Yes, bro. I'm the prosecutor,
Hello,
you're the
hello,
defence, so
everyone.
it makes sense for me to go first. Can we have someone, do you want to do this timed?
Yeah, time. Please.
Yeah, could we get someone to do timing?
We don't.
What do you want?
We'll do
Time.
3 minutes each. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Bobber is a good guy. He's someone who's here for intelligent academic debate. He's a Muslim. But he knows how to, he understands how to do a debate politely. Okay? He's not like certain Dawagandists here in the park.
Allow
All right,
it.
are we ready, bro? 3 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The reason why this debate is important is because Muhammad is an example to all Muslims. He is the paradigmatic example. In other words, if Muhammad did something or he allowed one of his followers to do something, then it is possible for a Muslim to do that same thing. This is important because therefore what Muhammad does becomes things that Muslims committed to their faith want to see permissible in our society. Muhammad has done a number of things that are objectionable to good conscience, but one of the vilest things that he has done that is objectionable to good conscience is that he married a child when she was 6 years old, and he had sex with that child when she was 9 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, now in the 21st, can I see the time, bro? I need to see them. In the 21st century, we should not be debating whether it is a good or a bad thing to be having sex with children. This should be a settled debate. But unfortunately, because of Muhammad's example, it is not a settled debate. It is actually something that is now a debate. In Iraq, ladies and gentlemen, because of Muhammad's example, they have lowered the age at which you can marry children to 9. Islam, by the example of Muhammad, justifies paedophilia. Now, I want to be clear. That does not mean that every Muslim buys into this or agrees with this. And there are many Muslims who are better than their prophet, and they reject the example of their prophet. But, ladies and gentlemen, there are too many Muslims who will justify having sex with children or marrying children, and they will point to Muhammad as the justification for it. And that is why this debate is important. Over to you, 3 minutes.
Go on, Bala.
Am I going to get a mic or to...
Speak like clear.
All right, hello everybody. Thank you very much for coming for this discussion. Bobby's right. We have spoken before and we've always respected each other. So I also suggest the people who are watching to please keep it respect, all right? But now,
Hopefully the sound is good, family. Like and share.
I want to make it very clear to everyone here. I do not agree in marrying 9-year-old girls in the 21st century. I don't. I have vision for it. Okay? And I believe the age of consent should be 18 years or above. I always say that when I speak to non-Muslims to make it clear where I stand. Okay? Now, yes, the hadith does say the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did marry a 9-year-old girl. However, this is called the practice of the time of the Prophet at the time he was. Because in our understanding, history says the life expectancy back in the day was very low. Okay? That's why they used to marry girls and boys at a young age. This was all over the world. In Africa, in Middle East, in Europe, everywhere around the world. The life expectancy 1,400 years ago was around age 25 to 35 years old. So it's normal at the time for boys and girls to get married at an early age so that they can have children, raise them up before they die. It's logic. You cannot marry somebody today at the age of 9. Why? Because we live longer. The life expectancy is about 70 years old in the UK. In other parts, it's 60. In other parts, it's 80. Okay? So, the Prophet says in the Hadith, in Sahih Bukhari, 3560, he said, we Muslims can do We can adjust and make things easier for society as long as it doesn't go against Islamic teachings. Now,